everybody. Welcome back to the horror show. I'm Marcia Parker.
I'm Fuego here.
And I'm Cecil Laird, and we got to see Sadako versus Kayako a little bit in advance, so we are going to tell you all about it. Now, Fuego, let them know how we got to see this movie.
Big shout out to Monty Yazzie and the International Horror and Sci-Fi Film Festival. That is a kind of genre-esque sub-branch of the Phoenix Film Festival, and they did their second straight fall showcase. 3 spooktacular films, and this was the closing night's entry, and Marcia's going to give little details about how much we all liked it.
Yes, if you're not familiar with the 2 franchises, there are the Ring and the Grudge with American versions. For those hardcore fans, and you know, there's between the 2 franchises, there's 21 different movies. So this is huge for, especially for the Japanese fans out there, because this is their Freddy and this is their Jason. So so it was really awesome. You start off with Sadako, where these 2 girls are in a college class, like learning about the occult, and they talk about
different urban legends
and things, and they touch on Kayako a little bit, and then they talk about the cursed video, and the 2 main characters are kind of asleep during it. I'm not gonna get
they don't care much
too detailed,
but the professor is real into it,
into it, and he's like, if you find the video, bring it to me, type of thing. And long story short, the 2 girls happen upon this cursed video, and now they're cursed, and they gotta find a way to break it.
Dare we say a little convenient, but nonetheless, it serves the story.
It was still really fun. And at the same time, you have this girl kind of looks like kind of a loner. She just moved into a neighborhood, and right next door, haunted house.
Spooky.
Yep, and it's Kayako's house, and so she gets kind of drawn in a little bit to the house. Everybody's like, don't go in there, you're gonna die. There's some boys that go in there and disappear right away. So long story short, she ends up getting cursed, and then they have these 2 extra characters, which are really, really fun, that kind of combine the 2 stories together. So that's basically it, and then you have the 2 ghosts fighting off.
So yeah, that's kind of where things kick off and, well, carry through, really, because it is very much like Freddy versus Jason. They're going after people separately, and then in a not quite Freddy versus Jason way, they happen across 2 sort of Ed and Lorraine Warren-esque ghosts experts.
Yeah.
And one of them is a maybe mid-20s gentleman, and then the other is an 8-year-old girl.
She's blind. Oh, she was great. She was my favorite character, I think.
And basically, they get the crazy idea to let's have the ghosts or the curses fight each other.
Yeah.
And so the girls that watch the video, or one of which watch the video, they're told, bring the video into the cursed house, watch it there, and then they will fight.
Right.
And it was...
They will fight over your soul, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was almost sort of the way that it happened in Hellblazer in the Dangerous Habits trade paperback for any of you comic nerds out there. But it was a really surprisingly... I guess I shouldn't say surprisingly, because the other movies were well done also, but I think the story was stronger because we got more of the good stuff that we like.
Yeah.
And the kills were really cool. So, what about you guys?
I loved it, especially the kills. It was really lighthearted, and even with the gruesomeness of the kills, but I really enjoyed it. I was scared, but then laughed a couple times, and the dialogue was really well done, well written.
Well translated, I guess, in our case.
Yeah.
Well translated. It worked well both ways, and I thought overall it was really worth watching, and if you're a fan of either or both franchises, it's a must watch.
And that's the funny thing, is I haven't watched either franchise in Japanese form, or I guess there were Korean remakes, or the American stuff. So I was going in totally blind, and I really had fun. It maybe at the end of the day felt more like a Ring movie than a Grudge movie, at least for me. I felt like that dominated the proceedings, but it was entertaining, especially for someone like me who was uninitiated. So.
Yeah, and you know, the acting overall, there's sort of a cultural barrier as far as what we appreciate versus maybe what they appreciate. So to me, the acting was a little over the top at times, but again, that's just by my estimation. It might be a cultural thing. But
terror is terror, though, and there were scary moments, and people were legitimately frightened, and as
that
they
was
should
effective,
be, and that was good.
For sure. What about you guys? What do you think of the acting?
I thought the acting was really well done, especially the 2 cult leaders.
They were great. They stood out, especially that little girl, man.
Yeah,
she
she
was
was
so
over
snarky
the
little
top.
sarcastic comments. Oh, you're gonna die now, or you're screwed, or whatever.
One of my favorites was she's like, "Oh, you're stupid. I don't think we should save you." And they're like, "What? Really?" She's like, "I'm just kidding."
Just berating us.
Not really. I don't
Every
think we
joke
should
is half
save
the
them.
truth.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of the couple weak points that I saw, I thought the acting was overall pretty strong. So that was a nice surprise as well. But let's get into what we probably want to get into the most, and that's the effects.
Yeah.
Because that is where most of this lies. Well, no, that's not true. We can talk about the sound as well.
Yeah,
so
that's
we'll
what
get
I can't
there.
wait to talk about.
Yeah. Now the effects, though, what did we think of? I mean, it's awesome because the two female ghost leads,
Who look strikingly similar.
they do look strikingly similar, but one has a more blue color. The other, her skin is all but covered by her own hair. So it's, there's obvious differences and everything, but they both act by motion way more than anything else, and they're both really effective at it. So that's always interesting, and then they just get enhanced by editing or quick jumps or crazy camera angles, like when Kayako is crawling down the stairs, they cut to right underneath the stairs, and she's like and it looks really creepy, but that's due to the camera placement.
Same
more
with
than
the little
anything.
kid too, though. I thought he was super creepy.
Yeah.
The weird bald kid. I thought that was Kayako the whole time. I didn't even realize. Oh no, it was the mother and the son that got killed by the crazy husband.
Little Toshio, who talks like a cat.
That's immediately what I thought.
But it was that the effects were really cool when we actually got them. I mean, it was a little bit of dollar store CGI at times towards the end.
There's a little neck stretch that looked interesting.
I thought that was cool. I love that.
Stretch.
I love that. And actually that brings me to the point I wanted to make about it. Was a lot of this, it's interesting how, they went more Freddy versus Jason, because Freddy versus Jason had the Freddy worm with the bong, right, enticing people. So it got super silly, and this got silly at times too, with the head being stretched and the neck like going Stretch Armstrong. And then I don't know if I was the only one that noticed this or not, but at one point, a character, without spoiling too much, but a character that gets involved gets headbutted, and the shot of his body recoiling was actually a giant prosthetic, like, pancaked face.
Yeah.
Like he got headbutted so hard his face and head was flattened.
Yeah.
And it was just so quick, but I was like, whoa, that's so silly. Like, it reminded me of, like, Dick Tracy, like that old rubber little face kind of look. And it was really interesting, that juxtaposition, because otherwise it was pretty scary.
Yeah.
Well, that's because it built the tension well.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Some of the practical effects were a little silly, but the CGI and everything was really cool.
Yeah.
Especially at the end. Won't say what happens at the end, but it was pretty cool to watch.
I think we will actually spoil the last 5 minutes of this review and talk about the ending, because I think we really need
It's worth
to.
talking about.
But before we get there, Fuego, let's hit this sound.
The sound caught my ear initially when you first go into the Kayako house and you hear this clicking, this creepy clicking of sorts, and it was almost like somebody struggling on breath or whatever, man. But it was effective, and it creeped me out legitimately. And without seeing any of the other films, I was just like, wow. Caught me right away.
The sound effects are really what gets the ghost. Besides the movement, obviously, the movement's super creepy, especially with the Grudge. When I can't say the Grudge, but Kayako, like her character, the audio effect and the use of the visual effects and how they attack and the jump scares and stuff, she always gets me, and it's just like if I heard that, I would explode. I'd be like, I don't know what to do.
Well, in Sadako's stuff, the kills are cool. I mean, there's a lot of CG hair at times,
right?
But it was still.
It makes me gag whenever you.
Pulling strings of hair out.
Yeah, it's really effective though, as far as grossing out. But I actually really like the sound design of the video. Because there's always it was the same in the American Ring movies. There was a particular sound in the background of the video, like a weird, not quite music, but not quite a sound effect. It was really weird, and they had sort of an ambient noise in the video in this one too, and it was sort of it became unnerving when you just heard the noise. You knew if you hear that noise in the other room, someone's going to die in a couple days.
Yeah.
And that was actually a big difference.
Right.
Because in the American Ring, it's 7 days, but I guess in the Ringu series, because that's what they were originally called in Japan,
It's just a couple
it's
days,
2 days,
Yeah.
48 hours. And then I don't know if there wasn't really any difference between the Grudge and Ju-on as far as what I can glean from this one, but I don't know. I dug the sound of the video. The design of the whole thing was just surprisingly good.
Sound of the video sounded, it was almost like embers floating in the wind type kind of, I don't know, just a spookiness of like, and there's like particles in the air and stuff. So yeah, it was effective.
I quite imagine that's what hell sounds like besides the yells.
That might be true.
Well, and the incessant screams.
Yeah. Now,
What's that besides the yells? Did you not hear me?
Now, I think that pretty much covers our non-spoilery opinions on this, so we definitely have to hit the actual end of the movie, you guys. So we are about to spoil Sadako versus Kayako. Turn it away if you don't want to watch this. Thank you for watching if that's the case, but
Peace
otherwise,
out. We'll see you later.
check it out. What they end up doing is the one girl that watched the tape inside the Grudge house is the only one sort of left alive at this point. And she is being chased by, or she's told by.
They're
no,
both
it's
alive.
the investigator too, right?
Yeah.
Or
They're both alive, but they said, "Oh no."
Yeah, the investigator's injured. The little blind girl is like attending to him.
Yeah, it didn't work. They are now joining forces and becoming one. We need to trap them both.
Yeah, well, they trapped him in the well, and then
so they had to sacrifice somebody.
Right, and so the way they did it was they positioned the little girl over the, at the side of the well, ready to sort of jump in, because that's the only way to trap them is inside the well, and she's prepared to, sacrifice herself, I guess. And then Sadako and Kayako start like moving towards her really fast. Like Kayako is crawling really fast, and Sadako's like floating. Yeah. And basically, just as they're about to crash, the girl jumps in the well, and they hit each other and like explode in like this burst of oil-like substance.
They're merging.
Yeah.
It's like cells colliding.
Well, and that's what was interesting, because we see the two investigators react, although the blind one, how much can she react because she's not seeing it?
It's the aura, okay? She
sees the aura.
Well, yeah, there was that one shot where you
seer.
could see how she saw, remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was interesting.
Cool.
That's right.
Yeah.
But then we cut back and we see that they've merged into this big CGI thing, like molding creation.
Right.
And it like jumps down the well after the little girl in order to what, Fuego?
Well, to take her soul, obviously. It was actually the older girl, the one who had watched the Ring tape alone. So she was the one who went down into the well, and the other girl, the younger one, was standing beside, and they seal it off, and obviously that was not good.
I think that's the body that it uses, right?
That's what I think, too. It took her vessel.
It took her as a vessel. And then how do we know what happens after that, Marcia?
Well, I mean, she comes out, and all of a sudden, it's not Kayako or Sadako, it's... What did you say it was?
Sudoku.
Sudoku, yeah. No, yeah, because it's basically, it's on the Ring tape now.
Yeah.
When she comes out of the door, she, like, you hear and she starts moving like Kayako while walking towards, the camera, and that's how it cuts out.
Yeah.
And also remember, the video is online. I thought that was one of the coolest story aspects that they did, where they uploaded it to the internet for everyone to watch it and get cursed. I thought that was a really cool little plot twist.
Which they're coming out with rings, and I'm curious to see if maybe the American version.
I think they're going to do a similar thing. I don't think it'll be like a continuation, but I think
they
they're going to do
could
that
use
same
it.
thing.
I'm sure they've already shot though, right?
That movie's been in the can for a long time. They keep pulling it back. They're scared to release it.
But yeah, so ultimately, their Freddy and their Jason combined into a massive Freyson, and that didn't happen with ours. We had to have a one way or another, and they couldn't even do that because Freddy winks at the camera at the end. So this was like a really definitive way to, end the clash in a really interesting and now scary way. Like, What are they gonna? Are they gonna do Juan Ringu next?
I feel
or
like
whatever?
they need to. I think they need to just take this character and run with it.
I think for sure they will, because apparently this did really well.
Oh,
I
yeah, I
imagined
can
it would.
imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Monty said that it did like an amazing amount of business.
It was taking over entire theaters, not
Right,
just
that's what
showing
he
on
was
3 or
saying.
4 screens, like the whole theater showing nothing but this movie.
Yeah. So you know, and I can't say I blame him. You know,
it was a lot of fun.
It got great reactions from the crowd that
Yeah.
that was watching it here, and I can only imagine
how it would play in home.
Right.
Yeah.
I know how excited I was, Freddy versus Jason, and
I actually loved it.
if they like combined forces and made a Freyson, that would be amazing.
Hashtag Freyson.
Yes.
Hashtag.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to cover our review of Sadako versus Kayako.
Kayako!
I think you guys are going to have access to it in December, I think is what Monty
Yeah.
said. It'll be on VOD here in America.
Yeah.
So definitely check it out when it comes out, because it's a hell of a good time. Get some friends over, have some drinks, and just
Make that popcorn.
have
Watch
a
that
ball
tape.
watching it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching. I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, I've been Jaime and Fuego.
I'm Marsh Parker.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe the video.
Woo.
Let your friends know about what we do here, you guys. This is yet another early review for you, so we appreciate the share. Until next time, remember,
Stay scared!